Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. You know that I'm always in thrift shops looking for high-end style home decor for a lot less than retail, and usually I bring you to the thrift shops along with me and show you what I brought home and how I styled it. But this week's video is part 3 of a series called Thrifting a Cohesive Curated Home, and we're going to be talking about different types of balance in interior design and how checking these balances might fix something that feels off in your space. Come on and join me. So welcome to this video on thrifting a cohesive and curated home. This is part 3 and the topic is balance, and in particularly I wanted to talk about these ideas of what might be off in my design. So balance is a key principle in interior design. It plays a major role in making a space feel harmonious and visually pleasing. So here are multiple ways that interior designers approach the idea of balance, and these are all, I would say, different facets of balance. So let's start with symmetrical balance, which most of us already know the meaning of, but this is achieving equilibrium by mirroring elements on either side of a central point. So like a bed flanked by matching nightstands and lamps, for example. Traditional style interiors emphasize symmetry like this to create a sense of order, formality, and harmony. Another example would be matching sofas on either side of a coffee table, or identical lamps on both sides of a console table. And like traditional design, colonial style also relies heavily on symmetrical arrangements to create a sense of balance and function. Rooms are often centered around fireplaces with matching furniture on either side. Symmetrical balance can convey a sense of stability, elegance, and timelessness, and it can also create a visual anchor for the space, making it feel very composed and inviting. If you're looking to introduce more symmetrical balance into your space, look for pairs of items when you're shopping secondhand, like lamps, vases, or chairs, to create that classic formal look. And now, asymmetrical balance. This means achieving balance by using items that don't match each other, but have equal visual weight. So like rather than 2 lamps that match on a console table, a lamp on one side and a large vase with stems on the other. Modern interiors, which tend to emphasize clean lines, simplicity, and an organic vibe, often use asymmetrical balance. Asymmetry has the power to create visual interest while maintaining the uncluttered and functional feel that is central to modern design. So for example, a sleek sectional sofa might be paired with a single bold floor lamp on one side of the coffee table, and on the other side you would have a set of chairs and a round end table, and those sides would balance each other without directly matching. When done well, asymmetry has a way of creating a calming environment. If you're looking to introduce more asymmetrical balance into your space, focus on grouping items by height, color, or visual weight to achieve harmony without actually having identical pieces. Now, I just mentioned the term visual weight, so let's talk about that. This means balancing the perceived heaviness of objects in a room. How visually heavy something is influenced by its size, its color, its texture, and even its placement. Darker or more textured objects tend to feel heavier than lighter or smooth ones. Also, materials like metallics and glass tend to feel lighter. Step back and observe the overall composition. Stand at the entrance or another good vantage point in your room and take in the whole space at once. Check whether the room feels harmonious or if one side might feel heavier or busier than the other. Look for areas that might feel empty or overcrowded. Another good tip is to take a picture in black and white of your room using a phone or a camera without the distraction of the color. This method can help you reveal whether the visual weight of the elements is distributed evenly across the space. One specific part of that visual weight is color balance, and distributing colors evenly throughout a space can also help to avoid overwhelming areas with a single tone. So we all know that it's a good idea to repeat accent colors in smaller decor items like a throw pillow, a vase, a piece of wall art, so I won't spend much time reiterating that it's often more appealing to spread those throughout a room. But one tip I've learned is to do this with various shades of that accent color or colors, rather than just one exact matching tone. So for instance, exactly matching your pillows to your vase to your picture frames in all the same shade of blue, for instance. Vary the shade and the intensities that you use for a higher end look. You can also assess the color distribution in your room. Step back and take a note of where bold or dark colors are placed versus lighter neutral tones. A room could feel a little unbalanced if one side has all the vibrant colors or all the darker colors and they're concentrated in one area. You could spread them out more evenly or intentionally in the room to achieve a greater sense of balance. Another facet of balance in interior design is scale and proportion. Too large of furniture in a small space can feel overwhelming, and we also know that too many very small items in a space can make it feel cluttered. The goal is furniture that fits the room, works well with each other without one dwarfing the rest, and then that your decorative pieces are a pleasing variety of some large, impactful pieces and a few smaller, detailed pieces. From my research, I have compiled a whole list of guidelines and rules of thumb for sizes and spacing around your home. For instance, the ideal amount of space between your sofa and your coffee table, how high to hang curtains, the size of bedside tables compared to beds, how high to hang a chandelier over a dining table, and more. And I want to link to that document in the description box of this video. And no, you don't have to sign up for any email lists or anything like that. I just wanted to share it with anyone who's interested, so check the description box. Another facet of balance is textural balance. This means mixing textures to create interest without overwhelming the space. For example, pairing smooth, shiny surfaces with rough or matte finishes. Notice how when I try and style these glass hurricane vases from last week's thrift haul in front of this mirror, it just doesn't look very good. It's too much of the same material, and there's no contrast. On the other hand, this vignette includes lots of intentionally varied textures and is more appealing. So when you're out thrifting or doing any shopping, it's helpful if you can have an idea of not only the sort of items that you'd like to find for your home, but also of the various textures that would work best for those items you're looking for based on what you already have going on. So for example, if you had, say, a wicker or some sort of woven side table next to your sofa and you were looking for a decorative tray for that side table, you probably wouldn't want to get a tray that had rattan handles or was woven itself on it because it would be too much of the same texture for that particular spot. Instead, you might look for something contrasting, like maybe a marble or metal tray. And last but not least, we have the balance of negative space. This is allowing empty space around your decor and your furniture to avoid a cluttered look and create breathing room. To assess the negative space in your room, step back and take a look at it holistically. Assess whether the space feels overcrowded or too sparse. A good balance between negative space and filled areas makes the room feel inviting, rather than either cluttered or empty. So, how is the amount of space that you see compared to the filled space? Too much negative space can make the room feel empty or like it's unfinished, but too little of it can make it feel claustrophobic. A room can also feel unbalanced if the negative space is concentrated too much in one area of the room, like this photo that we used before. And one final point about balance. Balance takes time. And I'm certainly not saying that I'm there yet. If you've watched the first two parts of this series, you'll know my story of overhauling my style. But a room doesn't need to feel perfectly balanced immediately. It's okay to experiment and evolve the space as you find new pieces. Use your thrifting journey maybe not as a rush or a frenzied race, but as a fun opportunity to play with different elements of balance until the room feels just right. There's no deadline, and there's no judge except you. So no matter what you do in your spaces, ultimately, if you have a good attitude about the process and you have fun, you win. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if so, and make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos in your feed. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you at the next video.